Hi everyone. So I started this channel just because I just recently started sewing 13 days ago, to be very specific. And I just wanted to kind of have a creative outlet to share my journey with learning to sew. I have been really liking watching other people's sewing videos and sewing journeys, and I've had a lot of interest when I post on Instagram. So just to kind of go into more detail, I felt like maybe I'll start a channel. I don't know if I'll have time to record a lot of my process. I do most of my sewing very rushed in the evening after my almost 6-month-old goes to sleep, and she's going through a sleep progression right now. So that's literally like, sometimes I have 20 minutes to work, and so I don't know that I'll actually have time to record my sewing, but I just wanted to make a quick intro video to kind of share like how I got started, why I got started, and then share the few pieces that I've made so far in the 13 days that I've been sewing. So I just had this like idea to sew my own clothes, like maybe a month ago, because my daughter is 7 and she has been hand sewing for the last like year. I didn't grow up sewing. I didn't actually grow up doing any like handicrafts, and I've really wanted to get more into them so that I could teach her, but I don't know a lot of them. So I taught myself to crochet again, because I had learned a little bit of crochet like before I had kids, like 10 years ago. So I taught myself to crochet last year, or a year ago. And then my daughter has been doing a little bit of hand sewing, and so I've been learning a little bit with her because I'm having to teach her, but I'm also having to learn myself and then teach her. But I hate hand sewing. I hate it. I hate it so much. So I've just really never been interested in sewing. It wasn't something that I ever thought that I would like or be passionate about. But about a month ago, my daughter started asking if she could open her own shop because she wanted to make more money and like making stuff and selling stuff. And so we were kind of brainstorming like, what can you sell? And she's really into sewing, hand sewing. And so I said, maybe I'll get you a sewing machine, maybe for Christmas. And then if I get you a sewing machine, you can use it to make like skirts or scrunchies or, whatever you want, bags. And then maybe you could get really good at something and then start selling that. And then once you've mastered one thing, you can move on to the next, and so on and so forth. And so she was really excited about that. So I got the cheapest sewing machine I could find. That wasn't like, that's an actual sewing machine, not like a kid sewing machine, for both of us, like a combined birthday or Christmas present for us, because I decided then that if I'm gonna get a sewing machine, I need to use it too. And I'm gonna start sewing because this is such a good skill to have. And okay, I love like all of the cute linen sets. Like I love linen clothes. I love the flowy linen wide leg pants. I love the like cropped like tank tops, like boxy tank tops. Yet those things are so expensive to buy on Pinterest. Like I bought a pair of linen wide leg pants last year, and they're my favorite. They're my absolute favorite pants. They're like real linen. I think I paid like $100 for them. And I mean, granted, linen fabric is super expensive too. What I've learned is like really nice linen fabric, I'm gonna make those same pants for probably $60. But still, a little bit of savings there. So I wanna be able to like make all my own stuff. And like my dream is just to have all of these beautiful, like cute little linen sets. And anyways, so I thought I'm gonna try to learn. I'm gonna see how it goes. I didn't have a lot of faith in myself, but I thought I'll just practice and see where I get. And so I got my daughter and myself a brother, I can't remember, I'll link it below. It's like the cheapest version. It was like $88 plus tax from Walmart. I think that's where I got it. I'll find it and I'll link it below. It's just like a basic, super basic sewing machine. And she opened it on Christmas. I watched a YouTube video about how to thread it and how to like thread the bobbin, on Christmas Day night, like evening. The next morning I woke up and I said, so my plan was to like really practice making like square things, like a bag and like bookmarks and like pillowcases before I moved on to clothes. But like, those things don't motivate me. I don't want to make a pillowcase. I don't want to make a bookmark. I don't really want to make a bag. Like those are cool, but that's just not really what I want to make. And I just knew that if I started practicing with that kind of stuff, I would never continue because it's not motivating to me. So I woke up the next morning, the day after Christmas, and decided I am gonna make a skirt. And prior to this, so I had bought the sewing machine, wrapped it was under the tree. I had been watching so many YouTube tutorials, learning everything I could about sewing. I really liked Sydney Graham's intro to sewing, like beginner sewing videos. I think she has a series of like 4 videos. I watched a ton of sewing tutorials and like how to make these skirts and like all of this stuff. I was watching it, and so I was like I was dreaming about sewing. I was like, I just want to get started. I want to actually make something. And so I woke up on Christmas, the day after Christmas morning, when I first sewed my sewing, the day after I threaded the sewing machine. And I was like, I'm gonna make a skirt. I'm not gonna make it fancy. I'm not gonna make like a tiered skirt. I'm gonna make a rectangle skirt and put an elastic waistband on it and just see what happens. Now, I keep leaving parts out. I had also just gone to the thrift store, and my friend recommended that I go to the thrift store and look at the sheets and look for 100% cotton sheets and get those to practice on. So I had gotten like 4 sheets for like a few dollars each, and they were 100% cotton. So this is the very first thing that I made. It is just a rectangle skirt with an elastic waistband. I actually did not finish sewing it closed. I don't know if you can see that, because I put it on and I was like, this is ugly and I'm never gonna wear it, but I made it. I made something. It was really hard to cut it out because I didn't have any tools at the time. I didn't have a cutting mat. I just had some scissors, and it was just, the sheet was so big that it was just really hard to get the measurements accurate. And it was ugly, but it was a skirt and it looked like a skirt. And so I gained some confidence and I was like, okay, I can do this. I'm not gonna finish sewing it because I'm gonna pull this elastic right out and we're gonna use it to make a doll skirt or something, which is the first thing my daughter made with the sewing machine. By the way, it was a really cute little doll skirt. So this was my first thing, made out of a thrifted 100% cotton sheet. My second thing that I made, I was like, okay, I'm ready to go. I'm gonna make a shirt. I thought that tops would be easier to make than pants for some reason. I just realized I didn't have all of my pieces out to show you. This was actually my first piece. This is the same fabric I made this skirt out of. So this is the all-well box top pattern, and I'll link it. My friend recommended I make this. She said it's a really easy sew. I did not find it easy. This was my first real thing, first real piece. And I realized that I can't do the neckline. It's like a bias binding. And you can just see it's like just not great. It's just like I got some kinks, I don't know what you would call that, like kinks in there. Just not great, but I mean, it's a shirt, looks like a shirt. I'm probably gonna do like a try on video at some point, or like a short, just to show like, I wanna see the progress, like from day 1 to day, maybe I'll do like a month of sewing or something. So that was my second thing, the all-well box top. My third thing was this tank top. This is, I think, the Sienna top. I'll link it in the description. I really like this pattern. I will say the sizing is off. I sized up after I made this because I made another one. This one is way too small. Like I can't even try this one on because it's embarrassing. I also added length to it because it's too short for me. But this was another thrifted sheet. This had 3 bias bindings finishes. So the first one I did was the neckline, and I totally destroyed the neckline. And I also learned how to do darting, but I did it wrong the first time I did it. So I learned how to do that, but I finished it anyways because I wanted to practice the bias binding. So I finished off the armholes. With this, I actually made my own bias tape. And it was just so hard. I think I cut the tape unevenly. It just was not good, just really not good. I watched a million tutorials on bias bindings. That's what it's called, I think, right? Yeah, like finishing a neckline or an armhole with bias tape. And every time I watched a video, I was like, that looks so simple. I get it. And then I went to do it, and I think I'm just really struggling with sewing so precisely because these bindings are so tiny and you really want to sew pretty straight and precise in this one little area. And that's really challenging for me because I'm just starting. So this was a mess. Yeah, the neckline's totally messed up. This is just like a trash piece, but I kept going because I got the opportunity to practice bias bindings 3 times, and really 4 because I redid 1. At this point, I was so frustrated with the bias binding and I didn't know how I was gonna do it, but I continued on and I wanted to make a tank top. So I made this out of a thrifted sheet. And this one's an organic cotton thrifted sheet. Same thing, I sized up, I added 2 inches onto the waistline because I like the cropped look, but I want it to still cover my belly, like if I'm wearing high-waisted pants. And this crop top was just too short and it was just too small in general. So again, bias bindings. This was the biggest struggle of all. I struggled more with these bias bindings even than the first time I did it. I mean, they're just ugly. They're not good. They're not good. They're messy, you know, they're really messy. But again, look, I mean, look at that. That's bad. It's bad, okay? But I did it. After this, I was pretty frustrated. And I was thinking, I'm never gonna be able to make a top because I cannot do bias binding. I can't, I don't know how to do it. I even bought the little tape maker with the little iron. And I think I wasn't cutting it straight. I don't know, it was just not good. So then I was like, I'm taking a break from tops. I'm moving on to pants. Because those are the things I really wanna make. I wanna make the cute crop tops, like linen crop tops, and I wanna make the cute wide leg linen pants. So this is the Charlie Darwin swallowtail pants. Made it out of a bed sheet, so it looks like scrubs. I was cruising along, making the legs. These are them. I was making the legs. I was like, this is a breeze. This is so much easier than a top. It was amazing. Well, the one mistake I did make before that was I put one of the pockets on upside down, but that was super easy. Just unpick that pocket, you know, whatever. Then I got to sewing the crotch together because you make like the legs first and then you sew the crotch together. And I realized that I made two left legs. And what I realized happened is because I used a sheet and there's not really like a right and a wrong side technically, or at least that I could see, when you cut the pattern, you fold it and then you just cut like a double layer, and you're supposed to, like, it would be, the top is, you know, I can't even explain it right now. The top would be the right side and the right side would be on the bottom. So you would have to like flip it over. But because it doesn't look like it has a wrong or right side, I didn't even think to do that. I traced the pieces, so there were two pieces, and then I just pulled them apart, but I didn't flip one over. So I made two left leg. And so now I know I'll never do that again. That's great. I'm really glad I didn't use like expensive fabric. And I ended up just finishing the pants anyways, knowing that the sizing and like the measurements would be a little weird and off because like the back is supposed to be bigger than the front. And anyways, it's just a mess. I was thinking it looked pretty good. And then I got to the waistband, and this was like a really tricky waistband, I think. And I mean, I really butchered the waistband. Like, it's all cinched, and this like, it's just like in the back, the waistband, and it's just a mess. It's just a mess. It doesn't look good. I think I'm gonna try pants again, but I don't love this because I actually prefer my waistband to go all the way around, and I like the look better. And I found the Pomona pants, and those look awesome, and it also includes like shorts, and it includes like 3 different views. So I bought that, and that's probably gonna be my next project. But anyways, I think it's easier because this waistband you made separately and then you attached it. I think it'll be easier for me because the Pomona pants, it looks like the waistband is included with the pieces of fabric, and then you just like roll it over and sew it. And I think that'll be a lot easier for me because somehow my waistband was bigger than my legs. Like, it didn't fit. So I don't know. Anyways, they're not horrible though. Like, they're pretty comfy. Oh, and they have pockets. Like, I made pockets, and I feel like they look halfway decent. I'll try these on again at some point. I'll make like a little short or a reel or something with trying on what I've made so far. They look like scrubs. I might wear them to bed or something. But I'm glad I got that done with to practice pants before I use, because I ordered some nice linen and some nice, it's like 100% cotton fabric from Blackbird. And I haven't decided totally what I'm gonna do with it. It's like a mini gingham, like red gingham. I wanna make a set, I think. So I don't know if I'm gonna make shorts or pants. I don't know if I have enough fabric for pants and a top, but I could do shorts and a top. Anyway, okay, so that was my, fourth piece? My last piece that I just finished last night is another all-well box top, because I was like, okay, I'm gonna try this bias tape again. I was talking to my friend who sews her own clothes, and she said, buy the bias tape. Like, get the pre-made bias tape, don't make your own. It's way easier. Hold on. Okay, so my friend told me to just buy the bias tape because it's easier when you start off, and so I did. And so like I bought the white bias tape, and I made this shirt in probably 2 hours total. which was way faster than my first All Well box top shirt. And so it's really cool to just make the same thing again and see how far I've come and like how much confidence I've gained already. And this was, by the way, day 12 or 13 of sewing. So I've been sewing for 13 days. I finished this last night. I think yesterday was my 12th day of sewing, and today is my 13th. I haven't done anything today yet. This fabric I got from Savers for $2.50. I don't know what it is. It feels like maybe a quilting cotton to me. I thought it could also be like a cotton linen blend. I thought it was kind of cute though. So I feel like this looks so much better. The binding is so much better, like so much better. I don't have snags. I mean, it's not totally like even and perfect, and I have some areas I didn't sew like close enough to the edge of the bias binding, but I still think it looks so much better overall, and I'm so excited. So if you're just starting with the bias neckline, definitely go for the store-bought bias tape first. Don't bother making your own. I'm telling you, I made like 6 bias bindings, or 6, on necklines and openings with my own tape, and it was just hard. It was just hard, and this one was a lot easier, I think. So yeah. Oops. I need to put a tag. Like, what do you all do for tags on your clothes? Because I am having a hard time, especially with these box cuts that are not very similar. Every time I put it on, which has not been that often, I just made it last night, but I've tried it. I've tried it on a few times. I'm like, which side is the front? And I'm not really sure. And so I feel like I need to put a tag or something in the back. What do you guys put? I want to know. Like, do you make your own tags? How do you tell for certain clothes what's the front and what's the back? Anyways, that is all I've made so far. So next up is Pomona pants. I think I just started cutting out the pattern or putting it together. It's like a big pattern. There's like 57 pages that I printed last night. Oh my gosh. So my next thing that I plan on making is the Pomona pants. I am just getting it all printed. Well, it's all printed. I need to put it together and then cut the pieces out. But yeah, I think I'm gonna make shorts, like a boxer short kind of, maybe out of, if I have enough of this fabric left over, which I think I might, to start with. Because I figure if I can do the shorts, then I can do the pants too, because it's the same thing, just longer. And then I'm not using as much fabric like on a practice run. And then I can maybe start making my really nice like cotton and linen pants or shorts. So that's the next one. Yeah, so I'm just putting it together. And my goal is to sew every day or do something sewing related. So if maybe that's printing out and putting together a pattern, or going and looking at thrifted fabric at the store. But my goal is to sew a little bit, even if it's like 5 or 10 minutes a day. Right now my baby is not sleeping great, so I'll put her down and then I'll rush downstairs and maybe get like 15 or 20 minutes in of sewing before she wakes up, because she's going through a sleep progression and she does not sleep well without me. So I've been doing a lot of sewing. She finally can be worn on my back. So I've been doing a lot of baby wearing while I sew. Like once she's asleep is a good sewing, if she's on my back, is a good sewing time for me. But at night, it's a little harder because she wakes up in the evening. So we will see. We will see what happens. But I'm excited to share this journey with you guys for anyone who cares. I think it's really fun. It's been like a really fun creative outlet. And my daughter is liking it too. So it's just really fun to learn with her, because she loves it, and I feel like I have to know what I'm doing so I can help her, and it's just like a way we've been bonding together. But yeah, my goal is to sew a lot of my wardrobe. I would love to be able to do that for sure. So thanks, you guys.